Good day to everyone. Welcome to the maiden episode of this program, Stories in History with Dr. Amalia Rosales. Last month, we commemorated the 151 years of the execution of GomBurZa, Mariano Gomez, Jose Burgos, and Jacinto Zamora. Yes, they were executed on February 17, 1872. And this event was one of the most tragic events in the life of our nation. Yes, 3 innocent priests were placed under the dreaded execution instrument at the time being used by the cruel Spanish colonizers, the garrote. Father Mariano Gomez was 85 years old. Father Jose Burgos was 30, and Father Jacinto Zamora was 35. Why were these innocent priests executed by our cruel Spanish colonizers? What wrong had they committed? How did they face their fate? Why is their execution considered a significant event in our history as a people? To the first question, why the Filipino priests were executed, the reason was very flimsy. They were suspected to have orchestrated the Cavite Mutiny. As simple as that. Suspected. The powerful Spaniards, especially the friars, they were bent on pinning down these 3 Filipino priests. They fabricated evidence, and based on that fabricated evidence and some witnesses, they were judged guilty of treason and sedition and sentenced to die. But why were the Spanish friars and authorities after them? Why were they angry at them? Well, because they were very active in the secularization of the Philippine parishes. That is, replacing the friars with the native priests. And the secularization movement was being started by no less than Father Jose Burgos. The friars were abusive and were perceived as obstacles in the development of the Philippines. They controlled the education system, which was as described by Dr. Jose Rizal in one of his writings as dehumanizing, depressing, and brutalizing. They also curtailed the freedom of the Filipinos, and they frightened the natives in the parishes. Going back to the Cavite Mutiny and why it happened. Well, this was a mutiny done by the native soldiers and workers in the Cavite arsenal. They were disheartened because of the removal of their privileges, which they had earlier under the governorship of Jose Carlos Maria de la Torre. Unfortunately, de la Torre was replaced by Governor General Rafael Izquierdo, a cruel Governor General, the very exact opposite of de la Torre, who was very good, kind to the Filipinos. Yes, when Governor General Izquierdo took over as Governor General of the Philippines, he removed all the privileges of the workers in the Cavite arsenal they used to enjoy. Thus, the workers and the soldiers staged a mutiny. This was carried out by 200 soldiers in the arsenal, as well as the workers also in the arsenal. Well, Governor General Izquierdo used the Cavite Mutiny as an attempt by the Filipinos to topple the Spanish government. He presented it as a blown-up one, which involved the local soldiers and also the natives of Manila and Cavite. Most specifically, the Filipino priest. In short, he bloated the Cavite Mutiny as a revolution to topple the Spanish government, and the priests were included because the Spanish friars were so insecure and they envied them very much. And three of these priests were Gomez, Burgos, and Zamora, who were very openly for the secularization of the parishes. Actually, no wrong was committed by these three martyred priests, but to the eyes of the Spanish government, upon the instigation of the friars, and based on the fabricated evidence against them and some witnesses presented, they were guilty of treason and sedition. The three innocent priests were condemned to die. What a cruel regime. How cruel were those Spanish friars to be instrumental in the death of their own fellow religious brothers. And so, the three priests, Father Gomez, Father Burgos, Father Zamora, faced their brutal end. Let us take a look at the ways of these three priests faced their end in the tragic day of February 17, 1872. Father Mariano Gomez, Ídolos Angeles, 85 years old, was the first to be executed. He was not guilty of any crime. As he approached the garrote, Father Gomez was calm and resigned to his fate. His eyeglasses fell as he walked to the scaffold. Then he uttered his last words. Let us go where the leaves never fall or move without the will of God. Father Zamora was next to be executed. Poor Father Zamora. At the time of his execution, he was no longer in his right mind. He had lost his sanity and was unmindful of what was going on. Thus, he died even before he was placed under the garrote. And Father Burgos, how did he face his end? Poor Father Burgos. He cried like a child. He stood up from the garrote and shouted, "What crime have I committed? Shall I die in this manner? Is there no justice in this world?" A group of friars then went up and pushed him into the garrote. Father Burgos struggled. He shouted again, "But I am innocent." Father Burgos only calmed down when one of the friars came to him. He calmed down and accepted his fate, and the friar who came to them told him, even Jesus Christ was without sin. Why is the execution of the GomBurZa considered a significant event in our history as a people? The death of the GomBurZa awakened strong feelings of anger and resentment among the Filipinos. It was labeled as the terror of 1872, and it awakened a strong Filipino nationalism and was the spark that led to the Philippine Revolution of 1896. Dr. Rosales was only 11 years old at that time, but he honored the GomBurZa in his novel, El Filibusterismo. He dedicated it to them. In quoting the dedication of Dr. Rosales, he wrote, "The Church, by refusing to degrade you, has placed in doubt the crime that has been imputed to you. The government, by surrounding your trials with mystery and shadows, causes the belief that there was some error committed in fatal moments. In all the Philippines, by worshiping your memory and calling you martyrs, in no sense recognizes your culpability. And so, therefore, as your complicity in the Cavite Mutiny is not clearly proved, as you may or may not have been patriots, and as you may or may not have cherished sentiments for justice and for liberty, I have the right to dedicate my work to you as victims of the evil which I undertake to combat. And while we wait expectantly upon His pain, someday, to restore your good name and cease to be answerable for your debt, let these pages serve as a tardy wreath of dried leaves over your unknown tombs, and let it be understood that everyone without clear proofs attacks your memory stains his hands in your blood. Are these three martyred Filipino priests given significant recognition in our schools, in the textbook used by our teachers, in the books written by our historians? Well, sad to say, the answer to this question is no. And this is based on the assessment, the scrutiny, and the study I made some years ago of the books used in the elementary, the high school, and the colleges of our educational institutions. Gomez, Burgos, and Zamora, without any doubt, awakened the spirit of our nationalism, of Filipino nationalism, of the youth nationalism of people during that dark period in the history of our country under the cruel Spanish colonizer. And because of that, it is hope that the sacrifices of these priests will not be in vain. It is hope that today's generation and the generations to come will find inspiration in the sacrifices done by Gomez, Burgos, and Zamora. And I will continue to honor them as great Filipinos. Thank you for being with me in this program. I hope you were able to refresh your memories about our martyred priests, three great Filipinos who sacrificed so much for our country. Bye for today. See you in our next episode. God bless. My love and peace reign in the heart of everyone. Adios.